Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant up an arrangement that is so easy. It's basically no fuss at all, and it doesn't require a lot of water in a container. And then I'm going to do something at the very end that's going to make it really nice, and I'm going to give it away as a gift. So let's talk about what we're going to do today, and let's get to planting. So I recently took a trip over to Lowe's and found these beautiful gazanias right here in all these colors. And I thought, you know, that'd be really nice to kind of put together for a really colorful arrangement for summer. Okay, so let's start with this beautiful plant right here. And we're gonna use this blue salvia as our centerpiece, which is kind of like our thriller that will kind of fill in and just really do well all summer long. I love these because they attract pollinators, butterflies, and they're extremely easy to take care of. So we're going to set that right here in the middle. And then for our plants around the side, and look at, we're getting some butterflies right now as I speak. We're going to plant these gorgeous gazanias. And I think that having them around the sides, they're just going to kind of fill in, of course, into each other. And then they will spill just a little bit. So that's going to be kind of nice. They're not like a full-on spiller, although I guess if you had them in there long enough, they would gradually grow all the way over the side and look just absolutely beautiful. So both of these plants, the requirements are very little, actually. They don't like to sit in a lot of water. They definitely like to dry out just a bit. They do not require any kind of preconditioning of the soil. In fact, the gazanias here, they can grow in sandy soil, they can grow in acidic soil, they can grow in soil that's more alkaline. They're very, very easy to grow, and they can for sure grow in poor soil. So if you've had some areas of your yard where there's a little bit of a problem with getting things to grow, you might want to try these. I know that they are hardy in zones 9 through 11. So most of the nation, obviously in the north, probably would have a difficult time, although you could plant them in the summer and then overwinter them because they are perennials. But here in Southern California, they could just stay in the ground and they would just multiply and spread and do beautifully. I have grown them before in the ground and they do fantastic. But they can also do well in a container, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to get this planted up. Pretty easy process. Like I said at the beginning, I love the idea that this is a very inexpensive project. These little plants here cost me under $3 each. Obviously, they're non-branded, so they're going to be less expensive. Along with the salvia, they were all the same price. And then this container here is really meant for a pop-in container that you just basically set in here, and then when it's done blooming, you take it out and put something new in. And because it was made for that, it has a little hole in the middle that's kind of higher than the sides of where that hole is. I don't know if you can see it there on camera. And because we're going to directly plant in here, and because these plants really do need really well-drained soil, I'm going to add some more drainage holes around the sides to make sure that they do not sit in moisture, because if they do, then they'll definitely rot, they will not do well, and we'll lose them. So I don't want to lose them. So we're going to start by doing that. We're going to add the soil. We don't even need to amend it, like I said before, and we're going to see how it looks in the very end. So let's get those holes drilled in here. So this pot I found at Lowe's. It was about $8 on sale, very inexpensive. And around the sides, it does have some areas where it directs you to adding holes if you need to. There's one right here, there's one right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one there, and I'm going to also add on both sides to make sure that they are not sitting in any kind of water whatsoever. So let's add those holes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it through the middle this way too, to make sure I don't have any kind of blockage. Perfect. Take all the plastic out. And now I have additional holes there, and I'm not going to have to worry at all. So let's move that to the side. And I'm just using a basic potting mix. This has some nutrients in it already. Like I said before, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, but I'm using this one because it doesn't have the moisture control, which means that it's going to drain really well. It's not going to hold on to any kind of moisture, because these do not need that feature in order to be successful. So let's put some in here. This is kind of weird for me because I'm used to, when I plant most of my annuals, I know that these are perennials in this case, but they really don't need that amendment right from the beginning. So it's kind of nice to skip that step for sure. Okay. So even though those gazanias don't need any kind of added amendment to the soil, they can benefit from a little bit of fertilizer here and there. And I think what I'm going to do when I get these all situated is I'm going to give them just a little bit of water soluble, and that'll be pretty much enough, because when they do have just a little bit, that can encourage a little bit more blooms. So we want to do that because we want them to have a great start. But we're going to first plant the salvia right here in the middle. And I know these plants are kind of small, you know, they're relatively small, but they will over time. I have a little bit too much in here, I'm going to take some out. They will over time fill in and just really take over this whole pot here. So that goes there. Perfect. All right. Then I have this really beautiful white and black blooming gazania. And I just thought that was really, really pretty and cheerful. It looks really nice against the pretty blue salvia. So we're gonna pop that in right here, making sure that I do not plant it right up against the wall of the plant, the pot, excuse me. There we go. Gives it a little bit of space there. All right. Now these gazanias, they're really, really nice because they are not only low maintenance, but they are pretty much pest free. I've seen it happen where you sometimes can get a little bit of a mealybug infestation if they're allowed to get too wet and those roots or the base of the plant starts to rot because of it. That kind of will encourage that kind of an infestation. So other than that, they don't really get anything else, or I haven't seen or had experience with any problems other than noting that before. So that's really nice. So you don't have to worry about, you know, bud worms or anything like that. It's kind of nice to be worry-free, other than basically making sure that they, you know, get enough sun. You know, everything in here is requires about 6 to 8 hours of sun, so you want to plant them in a full sun area so they can shine. The gazania flowers will close at night, they'll open in the daytime, and when they are done blooming, you don't necessarily have to deadhead them, but if you come through and give them a little snip here and there, that too will encourage more blooms. So although they don't necessarily have to be deadheaded, it will help with bloom production for sure. Now I just planted a really beautiful pink or kind of salmony pink variety that I think is really pretty. And I'm gonna put those yellow ones in here now. Pop those in so you can see where those go. A little bit deeper. There we go. And any kind of soil that goes over this side, I'm just gonna sweep that back up and put it right back into the container. It's perfect. There we go. No wasted soil here. All right. And then the last to go in will be that beautiful orange and black variety right there on the table. And that one, when I was at the store or at Lowe's and I was picking these out, it was just really shining in the sun. I mean, it was just standing out for sure. So these are all really healthy, and I love the fact that they're very inexpensive. I mean, under $3 for a plant is kind of unheard of these days. And so the fact that they're very inexpensive helps, and I know that they're going to last, especially when we have heat like we've been having this last week here. So that's basically it, guys. Look at how nice that turned out. I mean, the color of those blooms. I know there are a few blooms on each one, but once they fill out and spread into each other and a little bit over the side, along with that beautiful blue salvia in the middle, I mean, it's just gonna be absolutely beautiful. And of course, lasts all the way through the fall. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of a lighting feature to this, and I'm gonna gift this to my mother-in-law. My wife found a really cool watering can that has LED lights that spill into it, and that's one of the reasons why I thought this barrel would be perfect, because it sits to the side, it has the watering can, which has a really nice metal design to it, and then the LED lights spill into the pot, and I think it'll be really nice to look at night from inside the house. So this is beautiful on its own, but we're gonna enhance it just a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this really cool watering can LED solar light feature, and we're gonna place this part in a pot nearby, and then you just take the LED lights that are along this wire right here, and you place it inside the pot. This way, when it gets dark at night, it'll be really neat to see as the so-called water of LED lights flow into the barrel here. And so I think that barrel theme is really accented beautifully with, of course, the blooms and the LED light feature right here. So that's gonna be great to see. I'll show you what that looks like on the way out of this video when it gets dark tonight. So that's it for now. And I really think that sometimes having things that are really easy to take care of takes a lot of the stress of gardening off of our shoulders. I mean, we love those things that we like to spend a lot of time with, but we also love to have things in our garden that don't require a lot of us, and just other than a little bit of water here and there and a lot of sunlight. So we hope you enjoyed today's video, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you in our next one. Until then, bye-bye for now.